bringing you updates from Nigeria. Because lots
that has been rectified.
That is going to be coming your way. But at the moment, let's go back to Yomi in our North London city. Why has Sunday Igboho not been released from detention? That's a question, and some people are giving, some of the lawyers are giving insight to that. What exactly is it all about?
Well, it seems a lot of Nigerians, or precisely a lot of Yorubas, are worried, with the current situation with Chief Sunday Igboho being held, in Benin Republic since the July 20, while he was on his way to Germany. But what we can confirm and what we can literally say is that temporarily the situation is that Chief Sunday Igboho, as we know, has not committed any offense, has not committed any crime, neither in Benin Republic and likewise in Nigeria. Yes, the Nigerian government has put in, a warrant for him to be, stopped, and which was exactly what the Benin Republic have done. But a lot of people are wondering, why is it that a case, that has no merit is still being something that cannot be resolved in Benin Republic? We've got to remember a couple of things, just like the Nigerian, judges were on holiday, the same situation has also happened in Benin Republic as well, from the information that we've gathered. So the court will be resuming back in the next couple of days, and that case will be returning back to the court in Benin Republic, where the lawyers will argue. The last conversation that went from the court in Benin Republic was that the Beninese government wants to know, what he was doing, when he got into Benin Republic, whether he had a contact with people in Benin Republic or how long he has been in Benin Republic. But what we know is, he was traveling. And I mean, as someone that is part of the ECOWAS, he has the right to have entered Benin Republic. And not just alone of that, he was somebody that was also running away because his life was under threat by the federal government of Nigeria. So all I can now confirm is, according to the information coming out from Ilano Omodua, the spokesman says, and this says, the battle to get Yoruba activist Sunday Igboho, popularly known as Chief Sunday Igboho, released from detention is delayed by the vacation embarked by the judges in Benin Republic. According to the spokesman for the umbrella body of Yoruba self-determination groups, Ilana Omodua, Maxwell, today says Beninese court had ordered that Sunday Igboho should be returned to prison custody when he would appear before the court. That was in July 27. But what we can say is, in the next couple of days, the court will resume back, and the case will resume back as well, with his lawyer ready to argue his release out of the custody where he is presently in the country.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm looking at it that it's ECOWAS. Yes, I know that the border between Nigeria and Benin Republic was also closed. I don't know whether it's been open. However, whatever way or means that he happened to have entered Benin, shouldn't come in because he was being pursued by government. And therefore, that's why he had to flee. So, however, he's got it in there. But the way the Beninese are also handling the whole pursuit, I mean, we just have to wait for the person to resume, and then we can also go on. Because I'm looking at the case where, if it's this part of the world, if he it's not a citizen of the UK, but let's say the UK is next door to Nigeria, and then he's fled to this part of the world. However, means that he came in will not matter now, because what is happening is that his life is under threat, and everybody knows. It's not like maybe there's his family that is pursuing him and is right up to this part, but we know that it was all over the news network, and we knew about it, and therefore I don't know why the Beninese are behaving that way, but we hope, giving fingers and everything, because a fair hearing will be done, and then the right thing done to him as well.
Well, you're quite right, and that's exactly what the Nobel laureate Olayomi Koiki Kojo said last week. During one of the interview, he granted that there's no reason that the Beninese country, Benin Republic, should be holding on to him. They should allow him to continue his journey, because as far as he's concerned, he's fighting for the right. I would just say, some of those what Castina governor said, Masari as well. So we hope when the court resume back, like I said, within the next 7 days, we're expecting the court to resume back in Republic of Benin. We'll be able to see what outcome which will favor Chief Sunday Igboho as well.
Okay, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. updates from Nigeria with Mr. Olayomi Koiki. We'll go back to Yomi for some of the other headlines that is making around. So back to you.
Well, if you're joining us, this is Star Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. As we continue to say, thank you very much for those of you that have joined us. It is the 7th day of September 2021, and the time now is exactly 11:24. Lagos schools to resume September 13, says the commissioner in Lagos State. But most states in the south, in the north part of the country, like Zamfara, Kaduna, are having more of school closure because of the ongoing atrocity of terrorist attack in most of the schools as well. IPOP sit at home. Customers are now stranded as Imo government have shut the banks. We know that there's a days sit down at home that has continued in in the southeast of the country, and likewise from information that we have been gathered that on Thursday that the president is planning a visit to Imo State. There might also be a sit down at home. Hundreds of bank customers were left stranded on Tuesday as the officials of the Imo State government shut all the banks on the bank road in Owerri, the state capital. According to the information, hundreds of bank customers were waiting at the various banks. Some of the banks that were sealed by the government were Access, Polaris, First Bank, EcoBank, and the United Bank of Africa. According to the state government officials, used seal ribbons in sealing the various banks. Some of the staff of the banks told the correspondent that was on the ground, the operatives of Owerri Capital Development Authority sealed the banks. But why is the bank sealed? This was again that the bank sealed were those that failed to open on Monday, a day in state in southeast, said our home. So you can now see, but it seems the state government, or the state governor rather, is having a big, not interested in the sit down at home, because also some of the banks are also taking that into consideration by allowing either their staff not coming to work or probably shutting down the businesses because of the unknown. So now it's between the banking sector and the governor. Will this replicate in some other state? We will have to wait and see whether this is going to, take effect as well as we continue to monitor the sit down at home. The question then again is the sit down at home now a new kind of a protest that will shut down economic of that part of Southeast? The Biafran says it's not going to do so. It's just to send a message to the federal government and the state governors that you cannot hold Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in detention and think everything goes as smooth as it is. I know you want me to come back to the studio, and I'm just going to slightly come back again. This is still Star Radio UK. Is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Yes, it's very interesting what the Imo State government is doing because I'm looking at it now. It's my business. It's not. Is it a state-owned bank?
These are private businesses.
Private businesses. So it's their own interest to whether open the bank or shut it down. It's just that they are not going to get a security that they need. They can just say, no, don't come in, because if something happens, it's not the state that loses. They have lost, and they will have to make ways and make whether use their insurance to come up. So I don't understand why the state governor or government is behaving that way. Are they pro IPOP or anti? How do you say it?
Well, I mean, the banks are neutral, but you've got to remember, when they, it's not like, here in UK, especially in London, where transport is being controlled, by the mayor, where at least, you can't just give an order. But in Nigeria and in that part of the region, most transportation system are private owned. So, and if these private owners are not, bringing their vehicle out on a Monday, how do you expect the workers to get to work? These are part of things that I guess, should have been considered. Maybe the government should have provided, transport on a Monday to replace the private sector, so that when people that wants to go out on their daily businesses, they will have some kind of a transport to get there. Because in Nigeria, getting from one place to the other mostly is a private owned transport businesses. And this is also a different kettle of problem that a lot of people have complained about, especially in Lagos, where these issues are having impact on the Lagosians and people going in and out of Lagos, because it seems the Lagos state government, rather than taking control of the transport system, have given it to what a lot of people would call Agbero. Agbero is just like what we call tout.
Okay. It's interesting, but I wish these banks, I mean, the owners are going to sue the state government because you cannot provide security for the people, you can't provide transport for the people to come to the office, to the banks, come and operate, and then they decided, okay, what is happening? We don't want to do that. And then when the day that they decide that okay, everything is calm, you can come out, and then you come to shut the banks. My goodness, it is here. I will seal their asses big time. But well, you see what happens there. Madam see Ismaila. I said we are proud of you, Koiki. And Amayo Ajurgene says Nigeria is a real state. Break it now. Save lives. Things been going on with that. But well, let's see some of the other stories. Nigeria failed state or Nigeria still going on.
Well, Nigeria failed state is still ongoing, but a lot of people are demanding referendum. Mazi Chukwumeka says, yes, sit down at home is a way to shut down Nigeria economy and call for referendum. Once again, continue to put the comment as we continue to talk about some of your comment as well. NNPC to begin sales of shares in 2024, according to the board director of NNPC. The naira it continued to weaken as the exchange rate from the federal government, even though the black market will be different, is $532 despite the rising forex reserves. As of today, the pounds keeps going up. It's 725 naira to a pound, and that also is having a bit of clash of inflation in the country. Next month, these are issues that a lot of Nigerians are asking. Why is the refinery not working to the fullest? Is because Nigerian government believe that by the time the Dangote refinery is up and running, they won't have to worry more on the refinery that we have. We have 4 refineries and none of them is functioning. The Nigeria petrol import bill for the last 3 years. In 2019, it was 766 billion naira, and in the 2020, it went up to 1.9 trillion naira. But in 2021, it seems to be going up because we are not having somewhere to produce and refine. Yes, we are the 6th largest crude oil producer, but when they say producing, we're not producing it because what literally happened is you extract it from the ground, from Niger Delta, where the whole environment has been completely turned into something else, and then you put that into a container ship, come all the way to Europe, refine it, and then bring it back to Nigeria, and they continue to sell it. So 1.47 trillion is what we have spent so far to import what is the most valuable consuming product in Nigeria today, because there's no electricity. So that means more Nigerians spend more on a better pass your neighbor in terms of the petrol and then the vehicle transportation and businesses across the country. So let's take a look into that story. The amount spent on the importation of what we call the premium motor spirit, also known as petrol, in the first half of this year jumped to 1.47 trillion naira, which is more than 73% of what was incurred in the whole of last year. 1.47 trillion is about 86% of what the country spent on petrol import in the whole of 2019. So in the whole of 2019, we spent 1.47 trillion, but only quarter of this year, we have already spent what we spent throughout the whole of last year. So by the time the end of this year, we might be looking at about almost 3 or 2.5 trillion in terms of the amount of money that have been spent. Some people, organizations, individuals are those that are eating what we now call the national cake from this part of businesses, but the rest of the Nigerians are suffering on a daily basis for this kind of crime against humanity, as you might want to call it. Because if Nigeria owns the crude oil, why should we export it to another country to refine it, then bring it back? Then you are spending huge amount of money that could have been used to invest and train the people to get the jobs, as we have millions of Nigerians out of job as we speak today. So I'm going to go straight to one more from the business, and then we'll come back again to you in the studio. Once again, this is still Starr Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Imo IPAN face off. Marketers seek Southeast government intervention. What is that all about again? In terms of the Independent Petroleum Marketer Association of Nigeria Enugu Depot Unit, on Monday yesterday, have called on the Southeast governor to say President Muhammadu Buhari undue embarrassment and address the lingering crisis between oil dealers and the Imo State government. Remember, it was the same Imo State government that have shut down the bank. So it seems nothing to be going very well down there in Imo State. According to a statement by the chairman of the group, Chinedu, entitled A Passionate Appeal, said, apart from the untold discomfort, economic hardship on citizens, that the worsened fuel scarcity and price hike could also embarrass the president during his proposed visit to the zone. Chinedu stated that it had become necessary for the group to cry out, urging the governors to consider the interest of the people, the economic implication of the prolonged fuel scarcity in the zone and its environment. Meanwhile, fuel scarcity has already hit Enugu State as the pump price has risen from 163 now to about 180 and 200 naira per liter. I'll take one more and then we'll come back again to you in the studio. It is still Starr Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. We go again to business again this morning. Federal government must address distortion when it comes to gas market. These are daily use, when it comes to gas, the petrol, as a lot of Nigerians are now using gas, in their homes and businesses across the country. But again, it's another sector that is going through so much as well. What are we knowing from that? According to the Chief Executive Officer of Gas Investment Limited, a consultant services provider for local and international investors in the gas business, Mr. David Ige, in an interview, dissect the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA, particularly as it relates to its implication for the gas market, among other key issues. Recently, President Muhammadu Buhari signed the PIB into an act. What is your take on this development? This is a take. It is indeed a positive development, like any other Nigeria is excited about the enactment. Though it took so long, it is better than never later. The PIB brings some clarity and definition into the Nigerian oil and gas sector environment. So for the purpose, he thinks it is actually a great achievement. Investors want clarity, and if there's no clarity, investors will not come to the country. This is Starr Radio UK. I'll come back again to you in the studio.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. Let me say good morning to Ade. Once again, he says, we said no to one Nigeria because it is wrong. Okay? While some people are advocating for one Nigeria or going on the agenda, others think that it is the best way forward is to go our separate way. But let's look at the crude oil and the petroleum product that's for the year 2021 so far. How much Nigeria has spent 1.47 trillion. Now, the question is, the refineries in Nigeria do not get enough crude oil to refine. That's the first question. Do you know about that?
Well, like I said, we've got 4 refineries, and those 4 refineries are not up to what a lot of Nigeria expect them to be doing when it comes to the function. I mean, 5 refineries rather, and 4 of them, just like the remaining 5, are not in a good capacity. And not just that alone, we are pumping money into it, but it doesn't seem to be working. So let's look at what the news in terms of the last couple of weeks. 4 modular refineries complete construction to start operation soon. This is coming from the MD Oil, the Oil Nigeria Limited. But one thing a lot of Nigerians would ask is, investment have been pumped into this sector for a very long time. So what we can confirm is we have lost about 188 billion investment opportunity in the last 4 years when it comes to this particular sector. It's a huge sector, but it is not giving back a huge return to Nigerians as we speak today, and that is why about 1.4 trillion is what we have spent in the quarter of this year, and that was what we spent throughout the last year alone. So what should be the end of it? And again, as you can tell, as of today, our reserve is about 37 billion, but the crude oil, which should be sold to the market outside, should have been giving us the forex, and as you can tell, that is not making any impact. But maybe the government is waiting for the Dangote refinery to be in operation, and that then would also help as well. But in terms of the refinery that we have at the moment, they are not working to full capacity, and that is why 1.4 trillion naira is what we have spent so far in the quarter of this year.
Well, listeners, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Updates from Nigeria, book is Olayomi Koiki. Just bear with us, there is some work going on in the background, and therefore that's why we picked a bit of noise there. Okay. But Tosino Nash, Olayomi says what? He said we need to put the NHS for all our Yoruba obas and leaders. We want to be sure that they are authentic. There are no fake ones. I don't know, that's just suggestion. Maybe you think, I don't know why it's all you think that, well, I mean, there's no authentic, we've all been somewhere, somehow, infiltrated by whatever, so you cannot have the one. That is a suggestion that is put across. I think that is something maybe worth having a look at. What do you think? Alright, it is Starr Radio UK. We'll go back to Johnny for some of the other stories, and then what is happening to social media platform. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Archie. And if you're still joining us, this is Starr Radio UK. Sorry, there's quite a bit of work ongoing outside. Reason why those noise that we're getting is coming through as well. When it comes to the NMPC, again, is a sector that a lot of Nigerians will continue to want to find out. But let's go into the health sector as well. President Muhammadu Buhari named the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo as the Health Sector Reform Committee Chairman. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the setting up of a Health Sector Reform Committee to commence the development and implementation of a Health Sector Reform Program for Nigeria in collaboration with the state governments and the FCT administration. What do we know about this? According to the statement that was issued by the presidential spokesman, Garba Shehu, setting up of the committee is square to a health sector diagnostics review report developed by consultant, vast healthcare partners, and the Federal Ministry of Health. The committee will undertake a review of all healthcare reform adopted in the past 2 decades and lesson learned and factor them into development of a new health sector. These are the issues. I mean, they're talking about reviewing the past 2 decades. That's about 20 years. But in the last 40 years, I mean, even before the current president has been the president, he has never believed in the health sector of Nigeria, because from what we've been told, that he has been traveling to UK for the past 40 years for his healthcare reason. And just like so many other politicians, most of them don't believe in the healthcare sector. Somebody like the former governor and also the current National Party chairman of the APC, Asiwaju Tinubu, is here in London, after a lot of surgery, where he has done this surgery, not in Nigeria, outside Nigeria. Again, he was a governor for good 8 years, and part of what they're going to have to review is part of what was discussed for that 8 years, and the other part of the 36 state and the FCT when they were discussing different health reasons. So the question then takes me back to, because I still have that open somewhere. When we were reviewing the 62 failed election campaign promises, the first one on the table that I got here says ban on government officials from going abroad for medical treatment. This was a total failure. The president just left United Kingdom not too long ago. While he initially denied many foreigners to pay for their treatment abroad, President Muhammadu Buhari, as of 2018, had gone to United Kingdom 5 times. That was then. The numbers increased. And one thing is, the vice president is taking a seat on the health sector. We will see what the outcome is. I'm going to go straight to our social media, and then because of the noise of the background this morning, and then we can start winding it down. But for now, you're still joining us on Starr Radio UK. It is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. And what do we know when it comes to the current situation on social media this morning? What is trending? Big Brother Nigeria is trending, and likewise we go straight to Ndidi Owuchi, the truth about self-determination. The 1999 Constitution hijacked self-determination, So any group seeking your self-determination and freedom that does not target the 1999 Constitution to decommission it is either fake or misguided. Let's look at what Ifa Funshaw. We have enough of black musicians, black doctors, black lawyers, black footballers. What we need more now is black revolutionary, black companies, black investors, and black empowerment, black schools, black teachers, and black leaders, and black unity. Also, let's look at Idudu. IPOB rejects Buhari's visit to Imo State, declares sit at home. The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has declared Thursday as a sit at home over President Muhammadu Buhari's planned visit. This was made known in a broadcast yesterday by the IPOB HTOS as we have it. We'll take one more, and then we'll continue, coming back to you in the studio where you can continue the program as well. Once again, I was looking at some other issues when it comes to the current situation with the agitation. There's a lot of preparation this weekend as this Saturday we'll be heading to Liverpool for the armed trade deal protest put together by the Labour Party in Liverpool, and likewise this coming week on the 14th and the 15th, the 1 million march is also expected at the United Nations as well. Also, Nnamdi Kanu, US lawyer, set to take Nigerian government to the International Criminal Court. He has just left Nigeria after witnessing what Nigeria looks like when he was not allowed a visit to Nnamdi Kanu in the prison cells, and there was stripped naked search as well. So I'm sure he will be revealing a lot when he will be taking the government, just like Ilana Modu has done the same thing as well. So this is about it. 11:46 a.m. 7th of September 2021. It's still Radio UK. I'll come back now to you in the studio.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. We sincerely apologize for the noise in the background. It's something that is going on at the moment. I can't do anything about that. But before you let me just quickly ask you about this sitcom. Right, I said I will twice on Thursday. The president visiting the Imo State. What is the president going to do in Imo State?
Well, we know there is a good relationship between the governor Uzodinma and the president. So the president might be using that as an opportunity, to give a return back to some of the. I mean, these are politicians, and you know how politician is. There's a pressure on Imo State presently, especially as you can see, the effect of the Biafrans is having effect not just in Imo State but across the southeast. But the president is visiting on Thursday. We haven't been given a clear agenda, but as usual, they will opening some probably project that has been constructed in Imo State. But a lot of Biafrans believe that it's time now to sit down at home for the second time in a week, just like they did yesterday. Now that the president is planning this visit on Thursday.
Wow. Thank you, Yomi. But the question that I'm asking before Yomi goes to every one of you who's listening to us, do you think that with the action that is taken by the government, that the Igbo State government, saying that, well, they go to the banks and shut them down, or maybe stop the operation. But today, I don't know how far it's going to go. But if they come Thursday, if people decide to sit at home because the IPOP is saying, will they come again, shut the banks down? Or what's the reason that they want to make? With the president, looking around people, seeing some of the school children wearing plans as they normally do and stuff like that. There's a lot more going to be looking at. But let's go away. Tell me before you go.
Well, stay tuned with Archie and Frank for the last part of the segment on Starr Radio UK. I'll be back again same time tomorrow. Have a very good morning or good afternoon or good evening, wherever you're watching us from. It is still your favorite Starr Radio UK. Bye for now.
Thank you very much. Well, listeners, that was Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you our days.
It is still your favorite Starr Radio UK. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you very much. Well, listeners, that was Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. Oh yes, Igbo Shade, shake the ground, Washington DC, USA on September 30, October 4th, and October 2nd, 2021. And the Ogbonge Yoruba Nation Diaspora Mega Rally and Indigenous People of Biafra go media make una join the rally. We go start for Thursday, September 30, as we go march Kelele from British Embassy within Massachusetts to White House, Washington DC, between 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. As we proceed the following day, Friday, October 4th, we go march from White House to Capitol Hill between 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and we go march back to White House. And for Saturday, October 2nd, will be the last day of the rally. We go day White House, City Night. This na the 3 days marathon mega rally for Washington DC, USA, and it go up for September 30, October 1 and October 2nd, 2021. Dress code and black. Leader of Indigenous People of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Leader of Ilanomo Odua Worldwide, Emeritus Professor Banji Akintoye. Yoruba Nation activist, Chief Sunday Adeyemo Sunday Do, Chief Imam, Yoruba Land in Nigeria, African Muslim leader, Sheikh Abdulrahim Aduaniga. Now the commitment Yoruba Nation and Indigenous People of Biafra powered the right and it endorsed all self-determination groups and media. Radio Obodoyibo.
Yoruba Nation Diaspora Mega Rally and Indigenous People of Biafra. Ọwọ́ tí bá ń dún ní ẹnìkan kì í fi sábẹ́ aṣọ. Bòmí mọ́ra kí n pa màrún wí tú mi síta kí n fi ásílẹ̀ ní wọ́n pariwo. Ìjọba orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ni wá lára. Ìyẹn ní kí ọ̀hún pàpọ̀ ju ìfẹ̀tọ́ ẹni láni lójú. Ìdúkòokò mọ́ni. Ìjínigbé, sùmọ̀mí, ìjẹgàba. Ṣíṣe àtìlẹ́yìn fún àwọn afẹ̀míṣòfò. Mẹ̀kúnnù ń pariwo ebi lójoojúmọ́. Àrílégbé, àárọ̀ ọ̀dẹ̀sùn. Inú fún àyàfó la fi ń kiri. Ajẹ́pẹ́ polówó ẹni ọ̀bá lọ pélé yá o. Ó tọ́ ó yẹ kí wọ̀fà ó sì wọ òkúrò. Ìdí nìyí tí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá lórílẹ̀-èdè Amẹ́ríkà àti gbogbo ẹ̀yà Ìgbò lórílẹ̀-èdè Amẹ́ríkà fi ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ ìwọ́de wọ́ọ́rọ́wọ́ lọ́jọ́ mẹ́ta àti pé gbogbo àjọ àgbáyé sáwọn ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ aburú tó lọ lórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà níbi tí wọ́n ti ní ọ̀wọ̀ fún ẹ̀mí ẹranko jẹ̀mí èèyàn lọ. 3 days marathon mega rally Washington DC l'Amẹ́ríkà ló gbé máa wáyé. Ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ ẹ̀yà Ìgbò àti Yorùbá tó lágbára. Ọ̀tún wẹ òsì òsì wẹ ọ̀tún lọ́wọ́ fi í mọ́. Káfí tọrọ mọ́kọ́bọ̀ lówó fi í dòdìndì. Òfún wo ìwòrìwò ń abádìjọwò ní kú gẹ́gẹ́. Ìwọ ojúlówó ọmọ ọkọ Yorùbá ti ń bẹ lórílẹ̀-èdè Amẹ́ríkà. Darapọ̀ mọ́ Yorùbá Nation Diaspora Mega Rally and Indigenous People of Biafra ní September 30th, October 1st and 2nd, 2021. Ọgbọ̀njọ́ oṣù kẹsàn-án, ọjọ́ kìíní àtọjọ́ kejì oṣù kẹwàá. British Embassy ní Washington DC láti máa gbéra. Láago 9 òwúrọ̀ sáago 2 ọ̀sán. Láti bẹ̀rùn láti doríkọ White House ní 30th of September. Tó bá wá di 1st of October, White House láti máa gbéra lọ sí Capitol Hill. Senate láago 11 òwúrọ̀ sáago 3 ọ̀sán. Ibẹ̀ látún ti padà sí White House. White House la máa wà títí dalẹ́ ọjọ́ Sátidé kẹlẹ́lẹ́. Yorùbá Nation Diaspora Mega Rally and Indigenous People of Biafra, powered and organized by all Yoruba Nation and Indigenous People of Biafra, endorsed by all self-determination group and media in diaspora. Our dear father Emeritus Professor Banji Akintoye, leader of Yoruba and Ilanomo Odua Worldwide, Tajudeen O Adejamiu, Akọ̀wé Sheikh Abdulrahim Aduanigba, Chief Imam Yoruba Deledoko, Alhaji Nono Banjo, Yoruba Nation Diaspora Mega Rally, Washington DC Chapter Coordinator, Olifa Obi, Eastern Region Coordinator for Indigenous People of Biafra, Prophet Ayodele Ologololuwa, Chairman for Yoruba Nation Diaspora Mega Rally, Ndubueze Ejiazi, Central Region Coordinator for Indigenous People of Biafra. Gbogbo media agitator ló fọwọ́ sí. Dress code flag. Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tí ń bẹ l'Amẹ́ríkà. Ẹ jẹ́ àdá gírígírí bẹ̀. Kí wọ́n má fi re wa ṣàpínlẹ̀.
Àsìkò ti tó láti jàjàgbara ajàṣẹ́gun láti gba orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá kúrò lọ́wọ́ àwọn ìjọba Nàìjíríà. Orí mi o, ìkúnlẹ̀ abiyamọ o. Ẹ wá wo bí wọ́n ti ń pa àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá nípakúpa. Ajẹ́ odidi ìlú ni wọ́n kì í lọ́bọ̀ tí wọ́n sì jó kanlẹ̀ dẹ́rú. Ìkúnlẹ̀ abiyamọ o, kí ló dé kí la ṣe ká la ṣẹ̀ tí wọ́n fi ẹ̀tọ́ wádùn wá gan. Kí ni tó ṣẹlẹ̀ gangan? Eléyìí gangan ni a fi sọ yí pé ó tó gẹ́ ẹ wá gbọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi. N ò lè wá kú kí lóye ilé bàbá rẹ̀ jẹ o. Ẹ mọ̀ ṣe dàgúnlá àti aṣáájú lọ́kàn mi lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí. Gbogbo wa lọ̀rọ̀ yìí kàn. Ìgbẹ́kẹ̀ ní fọwọ́ ti lé. Ìgbà aláàmù ní fọwọ́ tó gírí. Ìdí nìyí táwọn ẹgbẹ́ àjàjàgbara fún ọmọ Yorùbá káàkiri orílẹ̀-èdè àgbáńlá ayé ẹ̀ka tìlú Amẹ́ríkà àti agbègbè rẹ̀ lábẹ́ àkóso àti olùdarí Emeritus Professor Banji Akintoye, leader of Yoruba Land and Ilanomo Odua Worldwide àti àwọn ìsọ̀gbé rẹ̀ ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ ìwọ́de ńlá ọlọ́jọ́ méjì gbáǹkọ́gbì 2 days Yorùbá Nation Diaspora Mega Rally eléyìí tí ó wáyé ní ọjọ́ 14 àti ọjọ́ 15 oṣù kẹsàn-án ní ọdún tá a wà yìí 14 to 15 September 2021 èyí tí ó máa wáyé ní United Nations Building ní 809 United Nations Plaza C22 York New York 10017 3503 United States. ẹ wá gbọ́ o ẹ yẹ kí fapá kan fò ó gbogbo ẹlẹ́gbẹ́jẹgbẹ́ àti ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan tó ń jà fún àti dádúró ọmọ Yorùbá gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè láǹretí níbi ìwọ́de wọ́ọ́rọ́wọ́ yìí tẹ́ bá ń bọ̀ aṣọ dúdú láti ṣẹ̀ òní kí gbogbo wa wọ̀ láti lè ṣèdárò àwọn ọmọ ojúlówó Yorùbá àtàtà táwọn Fúlàní ti ṣekú òjijì pa ó mà ṣe o àti láti fẹ̀wọ́nú wa hàn wípé ó tó gẹ́ aláǹlọ ní Yorùbá Nation ó di dandan aago 9 àárọ̀ ni ètò yóò ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ títí di ìrọ̀lẹ́ kẹlẹ́lẹ́ alága chairman gbogbogbò fún ìwọ́de yìí Prophet Ayọ̀délé Ológunolúwa PRO alukoro ni VMSE Solomon Adelaja akọ̀wé secretary Tajudeen O Adejamiu fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ àti ìtọ́sọ́nà tàbí láti fi ìrànlọ́wọ́ owó ránṣẹ́ ẹ lè pe àwọn ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ yìí +1 215 869 2966 +1 803 846 1116 tàbí kẹ́ẹ̀kan sí wa lórí wẹ́bsáìtì wa www.megarally.org. ẹ gbọ́ iṣẹ́ gbogbo wa ní àjọṣe gbogbo wa ní má dàgúnlá rí wípé o wá síbi ìwọ́de yìí nítorí pé Yorùbá Nation ó ti di dandan.